Howdy-ho, Andrew here. Welcome to the Onion Buns and welcome to Let's Talk Oilers. Oilers versus Utah recap for October 28th, 2025. So, pre-show. So, we got some conflicting information right off the bat. I had written down, sad news, Regula's out indefinitely from concussion. His recovery behind the established timetable, that sucks, as him and Nurse were very good as a pairing before his injury. And that was from, I forget which, it was one of the media outlets. I forget which one now. And then listening to the radio, Stauffer just said he thinks Regula will be back this weekend, completely contradicting news story I mentioned at the start of the pre-show. So guess we'll find out who's correct come this weekend. Though Stauffer drives me nuts most of the time, but when it comes to this sort of stuff, I tend to favor him over some media outlet because he's with the team, he's in the knowledge, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Regula back this weekend. But yeah, we got two completely different contradicting reports, so flip a coin and take a guess, I guess. Now, remember, I do the pre-show, I write down the pre-show before the game. So what I tell you in the pre-show is before I ever watch the game, so I don't know what's going on in the game, and I don't come back and edit this to make myself look brilliant or knowledgeable or anything, like sometimes I'll be right, sometimes I'll be wrong. It's just the way it is, and I'm okay with that. But I just want to remind everybody because, I got a little heated in this pre-show, and so I just want to give everyone's a head up. So possibility that Oilers doing 11-7 with both Phillips and Lazar in the press box. If that comes to be, expect a lot of vulgarity from me. I just covered this crap in my weekly Let's Talk Oilers video, which will come out the same time as this video, Wednesday, 10 a.m. Mountain. And I'll link that video in the description of this video, so if you want to watch that video, you can. What I wrote was, if Stecher draws in ahead of both Lazar and Phillips, I am not going to be a happy person. Stecher has not been strong this season, and if Regula was healthy, I've no doubt Stecher would be on waivers going to Bakersfield. He would be the number 8 defenseman, and we only carry 7. Simple as that. Also, understand the main reason why I want Lazar and Phillip in, is this team is ultra soft defensively 5-on-5. It really is. And it was again tonight. Lazar and Phillips fill those roles, and we need those roles filled badly 5-on-5. So the team played one period versus Seattle and one period versus Vancouver. And wouldn't you know it, Stauffer blamed Skinner and Pickard for the losses. I'm not kidding. He really did in the pre-show. He's back to his, sometimes you just need a save. Are you bleeping kidding me? How about the team play a full 60 minutes? And Bouchard not being our worst defenseman on the team all season thus far. Stop always blaming the goalies when those in front of them are not doing their jobs. And this isn't anything new from Stauffer. He's been doing this for years. I don't know why he hates goaltenders so much. And I'm going to jump ahead. I want you to remember that I just wrote this, because when we get to the end of the game, if you remember what I just said here, I guarantee you are going to be laughing yourself silly at what he says at the end of the game. Bouchard, Ekholm, and Stecher have not been good this season. I still have no clue what Savoy was thinking on that Vancouver goal, leaving his man completely alone in the slot. So stop always blaming Skinner and Pickard. If you want and expect them to play like top 5 goalies in the league, then pay them like top 5 goalies in the league. Skinner and Pickard are performing exactly at the level we pay them. We don't pay them a lot of money in NHL terms. I mean, I would love to have their contracts, but for NHL terms, we don't pay these guys a lot of money. So I honestly think it's absolutely disgraceful that Stauffer keeps trying to judge them like they should be top 5 goalies. If you want them to be top 5 goalies, pay them like top 5 goalies, and then we can judge them as a top 5 goalie. Or how about we demand our $10.5 million a year defenseman play like a $10.5 million a year defenseman? But you never hear that from Stauffer. Going into this, the projected lines were McDavid, RNH, Mangiapane, which you've heard me say it before. Mangiapane and Savoy have absolutely no chemistry with McDavid. So I really don't understand why Knobloch keeps putting those two players up with McDavid. I really don't. Leon, Podkolzin, and Roslovic. Henrique, Fredericks and Savoy. And then on the fourth line was Howard, Tomasek, and Phillip. That was the projected 4 lines at that point, with Nurse and Bouchard on defense, Ekholm and Wallman, and Kulak and Emberson, and then Skinner and net. So that was the projected lineups. What I wrote was still no word on if it's 11-7 or 12-6, 40 minutes from puck drop. Stauffer thinks Hyman is 6 to 7 games away from playing still. So he won't be back on November 1st. He's eligible to come back on November 1st, but Stauffer was saying he's still 6 or 7 games away. Janmark is 2 weeks away, and Kapanen is 5 to 6 weeks away. I'm going to be very interested how they do the roster when all those guys come back. Like Noah Phillips, even if Knobloch doesn't like him, and it's pretty clear now that Knobloch has no respect for Lazar and Phillips. I don't know why. Hell, even Stauffer can't understand it, but Knobloch just has no respect for Noah Phillips especially. So Phillips will not clear waivers. If they try to send him to the farm, he's gone. And I got to admit, a part of me is hoping they try to send him to the farm because he's a young kid who's building his career. He absolutely does not deserve the crap that Knobloch is putting him through this season. Like, the truth is, Noah Phillips should have been up with the main club last season, but Knobloch wouldn't bring him up last season. And now he's been one of our best players whenever he plays, and yet he's always in the press box with Knobloch. It makes no sense to me. Like I said, Rob Brown is completely lost on it. He doesn't understand it. Stauffer even said today he doesn't understand it. Elliot Freeman does. Like, nobody out there understands why Knobloch has it in for Noah Phillips. There's just no rhyme or reason to it. So for the sake of Noah Phillips' career, I kind of hope he does try to send him down to Bakersfield, because some teams can claim him instantly, just like that. And then Noah Phillips can actually get his career on course, because he's done everything right by us. So nobody should hold anything against Noah Phillips. He has done everything that's been asked of him. He's done it all with honor and respect. He's giving us full effort. He's producing, and yet he can't buy the slightest bit of credit from Knobloch. So yeah, he will not clear waivers if they try to send him down, which looks more and more likely by Knobloch. Like I said, even Stauffer can't explain why Knobloch keeps scratching Phillips. It makes no sense to anyone, and Knobloch's not explaining it. And for bleeping sakes, just announced at 7:25, so literally 7 minutes before puck drop, it's 11-7, and Lazar and Phillips are in the press box again. Knobloch, go bleep yourself already. I've had enough of this crap. I really have. This is annoying me as much as when McTavish ran Dubnyk out of town. I actually walked away from the team for about 3 weeks when McTavish did that, because Dubnyk was struggling because of the position McTavish put him back in that year, but it wasn't Dubnyk's fault. The team sucked in front of him, and anyone with any eyes saw that. But McTavish had it out for him and ran him out, traded him off, and, Dubnyk lost all his confidence and had to rebuild himself. And the next year he signed as a backup in Arizona, and a year later he was one of the top 5 goalies in the league for the remainder of his career. Thanks a lot, Craig McTavish. And that's how I feel now with what Knobloch is doing to Noah Phillips. It's just that simple. What I wrote was, for Phillips' career, I hope he's able to get away from this organization. I mean, I'm an Oiler fan. That's not going to change. But for his career, I hope he can get away from this organization, because it's pretty clear now they're not going to give him an opportunity. No player should be treated the way Knobloch has been treating him. Anyway, that's the end of that part. So let's get to period 1. My God, was that ugly. Well, not fully ugly, but it was not a good first period. Roslovic takes a pass from Nurse, goes through 4 Utah players, but dings the crossbar. Roslovic had a hell of a game tonight. Utah scores at 10:35. Utah comes back from the Roslovic rush that I just told you about. Nurse covers 2 Utah players, but then they get the puck to the 3rd Utah player, who goes around Stetcher. I have absolutely no clue what Stetcher was trying to do there. I'm baffled. The Utah player didn't even have to try hard to get around him. Stetcher's he just looked off balance. I don't know what the hell he was trying to do. So he went around Stetcher and roofed it. 1-0 Utah. Bouchard and Ekholm back together and hemmed in the Oilers' zone for a full minute until McDavid steals puck and goes coast to coast, but is easily stopped by 2 Utah defenders inside the Utah zone. So, McDavid but we were hemmed in our zone with those, It was horrible. Oilers out shooting Utah 6-4 at this point, but they're all been low percentage ice level shots, except for a Roslovic shot that doesn't count as the shot hit the crossbar. When you hit the post or the crossbar, those don't count as shots on net. I'll never understand that rule. Is not the post a part of the net? Is not the crossbar part of the net? I will never understand why those do not count as a shot on net. Utah's shots have been solid or deflection, so Skinner was forced to make some really nice saves even though he was facing less shots. Mangiapane just saved a goal after Skinner made a save by clearing the rebound because Utah, they had full control of our slot. Like, they were in our slot and nobody was moving them out, and Skinner made the save, but the puck was sitting there in the crease and Mangiapane jumped in and batted it away. So good defensive play by Mangiapane. Like I've said before, I have nothing against Andrew Mangiapane. He is a good player. He just has no chemistry with McDavid. And that happens. That happens from time to time with skilled players. Sometimes they don't mesh. And that's the case with Mangiapane and McDavid and Savoy and McDavid. They don't mesh. There's no chemistry there. What I wrote is, if only Oilers had defensive forwards to help out. Oh, wait, they're in the press box. Utah scores at 2:15 of the first. Nurse is clear, hits the linesman. It bounces off the linesman behind Nurse, who's moving forward because he didn't expect it to hit the linesman, to a Utah player. It's a 3-on-1, and Utah picks the top left corner. 2-0 Utah. And that was the end of the first. Shots on goal were 9-6 for Utah. Utah was the better team all period. Oilers had no offense beyond Roslovic rush. I don't think Oilers got a shot in the last 9 or 10 minutes of the period. I guess Knobloch will have to clone Philip and Lazar, so he's able to send the clones to the press box. Utah kept our small forwards completely to the outside and smothered. We had no pressure in their zone at all. Shocker, not. Stauffer is blaming Nurse and Skinner for the 2 goals against. I shit you not. The first goal, Nurse is covering 2 Utah players. The puck shoots out and to a third Utah player who skates around Stetcher and roofs it. And somehow that is Nurse's fault, according to Bob Stauffer. Or maybe that's Skinner's fault. One of the two. The second goal was a fluke bounce off an official that gifted Utah a 3-on-1. That's bad luck and not anyone's fault. Plus, the shot was an identical to the goal scored by Roslovic versus Vancouver. So why is Roslovic's goal a goal scorer's goal, but Skinner's fault when it's scored against us? Identical. It was they even replayed Roslovic's goal. They were identical shots. So it's just hypocrisy from Stauffer. He loves to blame Nurse. He loves to blame Skinner or Pickard. He always has. He always will. And it gets even funnier on that front. All right, so second period, right off the bat in the second period, 1938. So only 22 seconds into the second period, Edmonton scores. 1938. Ekholm from Leon and Bouchard. Leon carries puck from the Oilers zone to Utah zone, draws in 3 Utah players to him, passes it to Ekholm, who blasts a slapper 94 miles an hour to the top right corner. 2-1 Utah. Leon and Ekholm were beautiful on this play. Bouchard got an assist, but it was a secondary assist. He just passed it from behind the net to basically the middle of the key in the Oilers zone, and then Leon did the rest of the work. It was one of those secondary assist things, but he got an assist for it. Roslovic goes short side, but hits the bar for the second time this game. At 16:47, Oiler goal, Howard from Henrique and Stetcher. Henrique battles behind the net, wins puck, and puts to front of the net where Howard's standing alone in the slot. Howard puts over the blocker, 2-2. Well, it was a gorgeous goal scorer's goal by Howard, and he was exactly where he needs to be. He wasn't perimeter. He was right in the slot where he needs to be. And if he does that, he's going to get a lot of success. So hopefully he's figuring it out. Because the start of the season, when I was really hard on him, he was being like Savoy plays, a perimeter player. He wasn't going into the hard spots. To score in this league, you need to get into those hard spots. So congrats to Isaac Howard. That was a really nice goal. Here's one of my problems with the Oilers and one of the reasons why I want Lazar and Phillips in the lineup every night. Skinner made a great save. Play got whistled dead. 3 Utah players start pushing Wallman around, like they're basically triangled him in front of the net, and they're pushing him, all 3 of them. No one came to Wallman's defense. They just let him push him until the linesman and the referee came in and broke it up. Now, Nurse wasn't on the ice, or he would have been in there, but, come on. Of our forward group, we need forwards that are going to get into the muck and the grind. Like, they even said in the intercom, one of the players we're missing is Perry, for exactly that reason. Well, the two guys that are closest to Perry are Lazar and a very young Philip. Like, Philip has a lot to grow, but that is the type of player he's going to become. So we need them in the lineup. Utah goal 11:41. Skinner comes out of his net behind the net, but the puck bounces over his stick onto a Utah player's stick. Utah player centers the puck into the slot for the easy tap-in goal on the empty net. 3-2 Utah. Now, this goal is 100% on Skinner. The first two were not, contrary to what Bob Stauffer is trying to sell. This one was on Skinner. Oilers have a wide open net, but Utah forward pays Price to clear puck sitting in crease. It was basically a repeat of what Mangiapane did in the first to bail out Skinner. That's what the Utah player did to bail out his goaltender. I've said it before, but McDavid and Mangiapane have zero chemistry together. I like Mangiapane, but I see no chemistry between him and McDavid. I don't. Having said that, watch. They'll team up and be dominant now. I could handle being proved wrong in that fashion if it happens. I won't lie. I'll happily be wrong if those two can find chemistry together. 2:27 of the second period. Oilers goal. 6:27. Oilers goal, Leon from Wallman and Bouchard. Podkolzin carries into the Utah zone, drops to Leon. Leon drops to Bouchard. Bouchard passes over to Wallman. Wallman unloads, slapper. Big rebound directly right out to Leon, who one-times it into the open net. 3-3. Nice goal. Leon's made a career of these goals, and there's a nice, big, heavy shot from Wallman. And yeah, but honestly, he didn't get a point. Bouchard got the point, but you know who deserved the point? Was Podkolzin, because he did all the hard work to get that puck into that zone and that cycle started. Oilers goal at 5:50. Emerson from Ekholm and Savoy. Savoy pass to Ekholm. Ekholm unloads the big rebound. Unloads, big rebound to Emerson, who deposits into empty net. It was identical to the Leon goal. There's just, instead of Wallman, it was Ekholm. Instead of Leon, it was Emerson. And then Savoy got the secondary assist for touching the puck. 4-3 for the Oilers. Skinner just made 3 amazing, sprawling, diving, flopping saves to keep it 4-3 Oilers. Just bang, bang, bang. He was all over the net, but he kept it out. Oilers goal at 2:04. McDavid from RNH and Wallman. McDavid and RNH do a give-and-go passing clinic. McDavid goal after Wallman. Wallman held the puck in the zone, and he got it over to RNH, and then RNH and McDavid did their magic and in the net. 5-3 Oilers. Roslovic then gets a breakaway, but hits the third post of the night. Like I said, this guy, he's doing everything but putting it in the net. That was the end of the second. Shots on goal were 21-14 for the Oilers. Congrats to the Jays win, 6-2, series tied. Complete turnaround from the first period. Hopefully they continue this into the third. Third period, Utah penalty at 18:07, cross-checking, Oiler power play. Couple nice saves by Skinner, good positioning. Utah killed off the penalty. Oiler penalty at 12:55, Bouchard for slashing. Strong save off of one-timer by Skinner. Oilers kill the power play. Roslovic shot squeezes through the Utah goalie, but is covered before it dribbles into the net. Like it went through his arm and his chest. It was going to the line, but it was going slow. And the goalie flopped around and got the cover. So, like I said, Roslovic he deserved probably 2 or 3 goals this game. McDavid breakaway, but stopped on ice level attempt. McDavid's still trying to beat the goalies at the hardest area. Another couple nice saves by Skinner. RNH and McDavid have so much chemistry. They really do. But Mangiapane is like a black hole on that line. I honestly think Tomasek or Phillip even would be a better fit on that line. I really do. Because Mangiapane and Savoy have zero chemistry when they're playing with McDavid. None. And you need somebody with a little bit of grit on that line. So if you don't want to put Fredericks up there for some reason, they don't, then try out Tomasek again, or give bring Phillips in and give him a temp. Give him a chance there. He might surprise us. Like, I think of Phillips as a third or a fourth liner, but until Zach's not going to be back for 6 to 7 games, so bring Phillip in and give him a shot on the wing and see what he can do. Can't hurt. Oiler penalty at 4:38, Howard for tripping, and we kill off the penalty. And Oiler goal, 2:26, McDavid, empty net from Bouchard, 6-3 for the Oilers. Oilers win 6-3. Shots on goal, 23-27 for the Oilers. So the first period was ugly, and then we got 2 solid periods. And this team will beat most teams in the NHL with a 40-minute effort. Imagine how dominant they would be if they ever gave us a full 60-minute effort. Like, there's no lying about that. Like, all those games we've been losing, we were getting a 20-minute effort. And sometimes we got a 10 to 15-minute effort. So if we ever got a full 60-minute effort, we would be dominating like you've never seen. Well, not since the Gretzky days. And this is what I was laughing about. So Stauffer. So in the first intermission, Stauffer completely blamed Skinner and Nurse for the 2 goals against. It wasn't their fault. I went over that. It wasn't Nurse's fault. The first goal was on Stetcher, not Nurse, not Skinner. And the second goal was a 3-on-1 because it bounced off an official. How do you predict that? So it happens. But he blamed Nurse and Skinner with his, sometimes you just need a save. So Stauffer saying Skinner really settled in after that third goal. So there you go, folks. Stu, all you need to do is play a perfect 1,000 hockey for Stauffer not to blame you. Oh my God. I can't make this shit up. I really can't. Pitching a shutout every time isn't demanding too much, because that's what Stu did after the 3 goals. Is he pitched a shutout and he played 1,000% hockey. He shut it down and nothing got by him, and that's what it takes for Stauffer to give him a little bit of credit. I hope I'm not the only one that sees how absolutely insane that is. Like, that is just ridiculous, even for Stauffer. My 3 stars tonight are McDavid. 2 goals, Ekholm, 1 goal, 1 assist, but his goal spurred on the comeback. And Bouchard with 3 assists. They were secondary assists, but there were 3 assists gets you a star every time, unless somebody has a 4 or 5 point night, that is. 3 slugs. I got to go with Savoy. He got Savoy, Mangiapane, and Stetcher. So Savoy got a secondary assist, but was completely invisible for the rest of the game. Like, I honestly didn't notice him at all for the rest of the game. And his assist was a secondary assist. He wasn't really involved in the play. He just got it to the people who got involved in the play and got the point for it. So, it's great he got it to, I believe it was Leon he got it to, but I don't get excited over secondary assists unless they're a part of the play. If you're just behind your net and you pass it over to somebody and then they do all the work up the ice and they pass into somebody else and they score in, okay, you got an assist, but I'm not going to go woo over that, but yeah, Savoy was completely invisible again. And, honestly, he's invisible most nights. I really don't see what they see in him. Like, I see the skill in him, but I don't know. Maybe the Oilers are just not the team for him. Maybe that's what it is, because he's been in every single lineup. Like, he's been first, second, third, fourth lines, and he's invisible most nights. He's too small. He's too soft. And like I said, I keep comparing him to Yamamoto. Oh, and I did find out today that Yamamoto is in fact still in the NHL. He's just been scratched a lot in Seattle. Mangiapane. I had to give somebody a slug, and Mangiapane just has no chemistry with McDavid. So it's not really fair to Mangiapane, but he did nothing on that line. And again, I don't blame him because he has no chemistry on that line. As if they keep putting him on that line, he's just going to be sort of going through the motions for the most part. Every once in a while, he might make a nice play or do something that stands out, but for the most part, he's just going to be going through the motions because he just doesn't fit on the line. Like, I've seen him on the second line with Leon, or when it's Nude, Rosovich and him, and they do great. You notice him. He's involved. But when he's playing with McDavid, there's just no chemistry there. So I gave him the second slug just for that reason. And then I gave Stetcher the third slug because I have absolutely no clue what he was trying to do on that first goal against. I don't. It looked awkward. It looked weird. I have no clue what he was trying to do. And it cost a goal against us. Contrary to what Stauffer says, I blame Stetcher for that goal because that was his man and he just allowed the man to go right around him. It was ridiculous. So, yeah. So that was my 3 stars and my 3 slugs. I want to make a special mention to Rosovich. How he didn't get 2 or 3 goals is just bad luck. If he keeps playing like this, he has for the last 3 games, they will start going in and they will start going in bunches. Like you can't get any closer than he got this game. He hit 2 crossbars, 1 post, and he put it through the arm and the chest of the goalie and it almost dribbled into the net before getting covered. So you don't get any closer than that. Like these are going to start going in for him at some point, so he's just kind of snake bit with bad luck right now. So hopefully things start working for him. So I wanted to give him special mention because he deserved much better. He should have been one. I actually had planned to give him one of the stars until Bouchard got 3 assists, and it's like, okay, as impressed as I was with Rosovich and, Bouchard's 3 assists were all secondary assists, it's still 3 points. So I got to be fair, and I'm always going to be fair. I don't think it's any secret that I'm not Bouchard's biggest fan, but if he produces, I'm going to be fair with him. And it's that simple. So our next game is Thursday versus the Rangers in Edmonton at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And that's the end of this recap. If you like this video, leave a like, a subscribe, and a share. I'm trying to grow my channel, and a like, a subscribe, and a share does me wonders, and I do appreciate it. It takes 1 second to subscribe, costs you absolutely nothing, helps me immensely. Just hit the subscribe button on the bottom of the screen. Always feel free to leave a comment. Did you see the game the way I saw it? Let me know. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Also, leaving a comment really does help me with the YouTube algorithm and getting more eyes on my videos. And as always, pew, 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 and shit. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.